Good afternoon. My name is Atetisa Tracy, a student at Kampala Diplomatic International School. So what you see here is farm flow, a precise irrigation system. So here is how it works. So we use sensors. This is a water sensor. This is a temperature sensor. So it's put into the soil and then it gets information. It compares to what we have in the chip. For example, if it's supposed to be 500 that is in the soil and it's 200, it triggers the system to start irrigating. So as you can see here, it's a pipe, not a sprinkler like every other programs. This is because a sprinkler usually puts the water even where it's not supposed to be. So as we are irrigating, the sensors are still in the soil, so if it needs 500, it's getting 500, not less or more. Yes. So we use a lithium battery for it to move around, which is powered by the solar panel. Reason why we use solar panel is because most farmers don't have enough electricity or they don't have at all. So with this, they don't have to worry about it. So the language that we use is Arduino. So this is an Arduino board. Yes. So we added new features. So this is to help it move in the rocky, because some farms are flat, others are rocky. So with this, it can move in the rocky farms. Yes. Okay. As you see here, there is a tank. This works as a tank. This is just a prototype. This works as a tank. So the tank keeps the water. So in case of droughts, it has water. So then you start moving it around your farm so that it can start irrigating the plants. Yes. Okay, so we sat down and we thought what is needed in our country. And we know most of the people in Uganda, we get money or they get money from agriculture. So, and it impacts a lot of people. Usually when it's droughts, a lot of people starve, others lose the way they get money. So with this, we thought of this, where we can help them irrigate their plants so that they can get money. Yes. So what we need from the government right now is money to get more materials, better materials, because it needs to be bigger. And also if we can get where to go to do research, get better research, and also if you can get an IP, because a lot of people take people's ideas, so we would like to have an IP where this idea stays as our idea, so that we can, by the time we fully develop it, it's our idea, no one else who can just copy it. Yes.
An example from an expert, either from government or from any other private institution.
Okay, right now we are just being funded by our school, but we are hoping by the end of Science Week we'll get some investors and mentors. Okay, so these materials, like for example this lithium battery, it was given to us by PAC. It's a competition that gave it to us. Other materials, it's our teacher that provided them, and the school gave the money so that you can buy them. Yes. Okay, so our dream right now is to make sure that we produce a lot of them so that they can be used differently. Right now we are still thinking about Uganda, so that we see people from the north harvesting a lot of crops and knowing that we are the ones that helped them get all that. So right now we are thinking, because they say start small, we are thinking of Uganda, but what we want, by the time we have produced a lot, we want to make it to start, to continue with East Africa. After East Africa, we go West Africa, then finish the Africa. If we can, also go to other continents. Yes, I'm planning to study data science so that I can learn more about artificial intelligence and also deep learning, so that I can continue helping my country to produce things like this. You're welcome.
Direct process of irrigation. So when we need to really pour water in that area that lacks water, we are able to remotely control that process. So when I press the command button for pour water, you can see it pouring water. When I press stop, it stops. So this is irrigation process. Pour the water, it pours. Then I say stop. you can see it stopping. And that's the demonstration of how we would help to irrigate that area of land precisely using the sensors and our actuators there. Thank you.
How the interconnectivity between these two systems?
This
From
one.
the laptop for this one, because I don't see any wire connected.
Yes, there are no wires here. To be outstanding, you have to have really cool stuff. So when I joined these guys doing robotics, at first we thought maybe we use wires to connect, because it started like a really small school project. But as we upgraded, the teacher, our mentor, taught us about of how we could utilize radio waves to send and receive information back and forth. So we have a small XB here, where in the laptop, that is able to send radio frequencies from the laptop using the commands to our robot to communicate with the robot, and it's able to deliver the command precisely, and it's almost real-time processing at that point, because I press the button, you see what happens that side. It feels like magic, to be honest, but all that's part of robotics, and I say it's really cool, and whoever is interested, please come and join, because how do I just press buttons and magic happens? But when you learn all these processes, I know it takes a bit much of time, but it's really cool to see such stuff here. So yeah, this is a radio send and receiver that communicates with our brain there on the robot.
So basically,
That's why when I started speaking, no, it's not witchcraft. When I started speaking, I really wanted to thank our mentor. He's really smart, Mr. Paul Victor. Thank you for this opportunity. So he taught us, because in class we learned about radio frequencies, but we really didn't know how do we use them to send and receive messages. But when you join robotics, you'll find out some very, very cool stuff that are really done here. So this idea is to send the command from the laptop to our brain there and direct all the processing of what happens there remotely from here. Because some remote controllers for TVs use infrared frequencies because the distance is quite short, but with radio waves they have big wavelength. They can communicate with such systems over a larger area of land. For example, the distance could be big, but I press from here, the magic still happens from wherever you are, and it's very suitable in agriculture because it's not that you'll be following the robot every time with your remote controller and press buttons. You can just be in your house, and we were looking at future improvements to mount cameras here, AI cameras here, that will be able to send also video footages to our control system that will enable a farmer. I would not want to call them lazy, but maybe you're a bit busy. You just sit in your house and control all the operations from here, for example.
thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Yeah? Otim Emmanuel, a student at Kampala Diplomatic International School.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Mugumia and I'm a student at Kampala Diplomatic International School. So our project Farm Flow, originally I developed this idea because my dad owns a farm. So he tried to plant a new kind of, I don't remember what it was, maybe watermelon. So he had like a nursery bed, but these unpredictable weather patterns kind of messed up the irrigation of the whole thing. So I think he over irrigated it one time and all the seeds died. So I kind of thought, what can I do about this problem? Because it was really disappointing. And if you think about it, in like the underserved communities of Uganda, if they were to lose that amount of seeds, they could have generated lots of crops that they could have sold to make money for themselves. But if they lose this number of seeds, if they kind of, this is their source of income. This is how they make a living in the underserved communities of Uganda. So if they don't have proper grown crops, no one on the market might be able to take them because they're not good quality. So I decided to come up with a precise irrigation system that's going to maximize the water they have, because This is targeting everyone, every farmer in Uganda, but looking at the underserved communities mostly because they would suffer more than we would from this loss. And this system kind of maximizes their water, and since it's powered by solar, they might not have access to electricity or maybe charging points, or it could be too expensive. So the whole concept of solar is so it can be sustainable and affordable for them, because solar, you just need to put it in the sun and it could recharge the battery, and that's basically where the whole concept of building this irrigation system came from. Yeah, that's...
You get help from your colleagues?
Yes, so from the school I was provided a mentor and some materials, and then when I worked on the first iteration, right before taking it to the farm for testing, my colleague Otim Emmanuel joined me, and when we took it to the farm, it wasn't very efficient on the rocky ground, so it stopped at some point, then it worked at another point. So we brought it back and we brainstormed together how can we improve this system. So I took him through the whole concept, and then he proposed adding gear systems, we improved the wheels together, and that's how we came up with our second iteration, which is currently down here.
Just break down some of the parts.
Hello. Yes. I'm Otim Emmanuel. I hope she mentioned, and I hope you remember what she mentioned earlier. So they were developing FarmFlow, a precise irrigation robot that is enabled to use sensors to detect how much moisture, temperature, and amount of NPK is in the soil at a particular time, and use that data for real-time processing of that data into our microprocessor to be able to predict how much more water is needed to be added into the soil at that time to reach a minimum amount of water required for plant growth. So we were able to design this with the mentor that was able to guide us. His name is Mr. Victor Paul Kawaga. Wherever you are, thank you for this opportunity. So we designed it with him. I jumped in a bit late after the first iteration, whereby they were going to test it in a farmland. When we went to the farmland, the testing didn't go really well because we were using simple wheels, and we had 4 wheels being driven by 4 motors. So when we went there, the testing massively failed, and we were very upset, and there were some thoughts of maybe giving up because they took literally 4 months to build this, and then when I came in, it totaled up to 5 months. Then you go to the farm, and then it fails. Then you'd be like, oh, do we really have hope? Then we got encouraged, we got advices from the school board to go back and really look at how do we implement other systems. So we thought to use the gear systems that will enable us to achieve more torque. So we did that by reducing the amount of motors that we are using, first of all, from 4. Now we are using 2. The other 4, there were many, the system was fast, but a small stone could just block it, and then everything ends there, it doesn't move anymore. And imagine taking that to a farmland, it would be really challenging for that to work out. So we reduced it, and then we used the gear system. Now we achieve high torque but low speed in order for the system to maneuver its way easily on a farmland. So yeah, that's how we reached this point.
Who brought the ideas of which parts should go where?
Yeah, so I always say as kids, when you see cars, you think they're just 4 wheels that move, but you really don't know the hydraulic system under that, behind that car. You don't really know the gear systems that they're using to make the car move. But when we looked at that, so the first system was basically like having 4 car wheels and then having 4 motors to drive, but we didn't have the knowledge of how we could apply gear systems here. So when we did the first testing, that I'm pretty sure someone in the village could even see kids trying to make cars, right? You will see 4 tires. But how do those 4 tires move? Some people push it, some people pull it, then it's able to move. But ours is automated using an Arduino that's able to act as the brain behind everything that happens here. The Arduino idea came from the teacher, But then the four wheels, as anyone who is interested in building a car or a rover will start from, that's the bare minimum. You should have 4 tires to start up this idea.
How should government help you to achieve a bigger dream? Because you already have a prototype, but you need to actualize it to something bigger than this.
I would say, first of all, the first main important thing is sensitization, because many people think it's the money, but we were able to come up with this prototype, not because we had a lot of money, but we were sensitized about the importance of irrigation and importance of building projects that solve real-world problems. And as I always say, I come from rural Uganda, and I know Uganda's backbone of the economy is really agriculture. And if we can solve small problems that farmers face in agriculture, it would really be enabling our economy to strengthen and thrive further. So I think sensitization is number one. Sensitize the youth on how important agriculture is in our economy and on how problem solving could really let our economy thrive, and also encourage the youth to think outside the box, come up with solutions like what we have right now to solve real life problems that are faced in Uganda. And secondly, I think now you could talk about the money. We really need investment in this section, because you can be passionate the way we are right now, but when you don't have the fundings, the money is not there, you'll end up only at prototypes like ours, because this one, you can't expect it to go on the garden right now, though you can see it move on land, irrigate small area of land, but when we are talking about large-scale farming, we need to upgrade this, buy bigger tires, bigger motors, stronger metal. So that's where we need the investment from the government into this section of robotics in agriculture in order to increase the capacity of the yields that are produced in the farmland.
I guess I would say investment is one thing for sure, because we have big plans to upgrade this since it's just limited to irrigation. We want to add NPK sensors and do the bit of fertilization as well, add a bit of insecticide, because we know these crops really die from pests. So we want to divide it into like different storage units. One has water, one could have fertilizer, and the other has insecticide. So we really have big dreams for this project, but we kind of have limited funds for it. As of now, all we could come up with was a prototype, and we really want to advance it more than that. But one thing the government could really help with is understanding this prototype, our idea, the story behind it, providing us with resources and investment to bring it up as a real product on the Ugandan market.
I have a few more to add. I think also community sensitization should really talk about girl-child empowerment, because last year when we went for competitions, the office of First Lady, Mrs. Janet Kataha Museveni, was supposed to come. Then she sent someone from the Ministry of Education and Sports. So she really gave me an impression that we really need the girl-child empowerment in fields like robotics, because there are very few people, more especially the men, that think girl-child is play a key role in our community. So I think they should be empowered, because without her, I don't think I would have been in this field anyway. I want to do engineering, but her starting to do it gave me the impression, and I was really proud of what she was doing. So it was easy to join her team, because seeing a girl child making our Uganda better would make me really proud.